What is up? What's up? I'm afraid of myself today. Are you afraid of yourself today? You should be afraid of yourself. You know why you should be afraid of yourself? Because you're dangerous. You are a dangerous person. I'm dangerous. You're dangerous. We're dangerous people. It'd be dangerous. You know what dangerous means? That means that you have power. You have power inside you. Okay, so today I literally have just been feeling this surge, this energy. And I've been realizing a couple things. I'm not gonna get too personal because I genuinely, I've been working on a few things in my life just to improve. And I've realized I've been self-sabotaging myself. I've been afraid to push. I've been afraid of myself. I've been literally afraid. You know why I'm afraid? I'm afraid because there's power in me that's stronger than me, that is more powerful than me. I have the Spirit of God in me, the same Spirit that rose Jesus from the dead, that parted the Red Sea. I have it in me, and it's not something because I got it, because I did anything for it. I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything for it. It's just something that I have because I believe in Jesus, and I feel this. I'm feeling just this raw, unbridled power. And it's power that is not from me, it's from the Lord, and it's for His righteousness. And it's not about me being great. It's not about you being great. It's not about anybody being great. It's about God being good. It's about Jesus being good. So I just want to put this out here. I focus a lot on this channel about, a couple things, about communication, and I also focus on righteousness, pursuing righteousness. What does it mean to be a righteous person? And then also just really showing purity. So I kind of have this thing where it's like I always feel that there's one side of my life where it's my business, and it's like how people actually engage with like Tag Expert, which is my company, and then kind of coming together. Okay, well, who am I? How do I explore the giftings that I have that maybe aren't necessarily just video related, that are more like about presentation, about singing, writing music, all that stuff. I've got so much that I want to give. And I guess I want to package it in these ways that people can access it. But the problem is that I feel just this. I'm afraid of myself. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you feel this way? Do you feel afraid of yourself? You're like, man. Like, what are some vices that you have? Like, for one thing, I picked up vaping. Right? Terrible habit. But I suppose it's better than smoking cigarettes or smoking that. But whenever I take a break, whenever I stop, I realize I'm like, wow, I'm afraid of myself. I am literally afraid of myself. The reason that I jump into stuff like that, or the reason that that I look for things of this world to kind of like help me, like a top 10 or top 6, top 50 thing. The reason it doesn't work with me is because it literally is depowering what I know is very powerful in myself. It's like I'm doubting myself. I'm second guessing myself. I need to go and ask a vlogger, a blogger. I need to watch that latest interview with that person, XYZ, some piece of content. I need to watch this YouTube video like this. And so for me, I work between this whole element. It's like, okay, well, how much do I really need to share with people for the sake of them? Or how much do I need to share for the sake of myself just to get it out? So there's like a mix there. So for me, I go back and forth between this idea of like, I need to create content that people are going to engage with, and people are going to, God, I need to build a following. I need to have all these people. No. The purpose of creating content is for me to perpetually grow, for me to perpetually find new things, to connect more with people, to connect, to just tell the truth, to say things, to spark a dialogue, to ultimately build relationships with people that are powerful, and to cut through the noise and the BS of the internet world, to cut through the BS of all the different waves that are just that are coming at it, and getting some holy fire into it, pushing through, and getting to the other side, which is which is the fullness of revelation that God has for us. So this. I'm speaking almost in this, and I understand that where I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking kind of in a position of, from a position of power here, and that scares me. If I did all the things if I followed all the impulses I have, if I followed all of the good, positive hopes that I have, and I just did not doubt one bit, right? That's powerful. It's powerful to go and not have that doubt. It's really, really powerful. And I think that as we grow as people and as our networks grow, or as our families grow, or as things improve in our lives, we have to continually say no. The person who becomes wealthy, and that's one of the beautiful things one of the things I've privileged to do is to interview lots of people over my life. Thousands of people I've got to interview. Had numerous, countless. I mean, I really can't even go into how many. I haven't even counted, but tons of conversations with people from different sectors, from music, top music people, to top film people. I've had so many unique experiences in my life. I'm very fortunate and very thankful for those opportunities. But what I've noticed for every single one is there's this element is like the people I liked the most were the ones who were super successful but super humble at the same time. It was almost as if the more success they got, the less they held on to it. It was like, those are the folks that I feel like they jumped into this pool of the world. They just took all their power and they just threw it out there, and you're like, bah! And they just like exploded with it. And then all of a sudden, when you explode like that, when you just like give yourself like total freedom to just explode, there's something really magical that happens that you just don't want to hold on to as much because you want to keep expanding. You know what I'm saying? It's like when like there's success that's limiting success, right? Where it's like you were given a shot that you maybe didn't quite, you didn't really put yourself all the way through, but somehow it worked and you somehow got suffocated, right? We don't want to do that. We don't want to be in a place where we're suffocated, right? We want to be in a place where we're expanding, right? The problem with expansion is that when you start expanding, you're going to move people around. People are going to be, some folks are going to like you. They're going to like, they're going to be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then some people are going to be like, get away from me, you know? Like, so we're going to have that like this bipolar universe that ends up happening. But when we start expanding in that, we start like really saying, okay, I'm going to choose my power today. I'm going to choose the power that God gave me. I'm not going to suffocate God's power in me. I'm going to let it out, and I'm not going to be afraid of letting it out. I just think that this is really, really important. And I think that part of this just drives me nuts because, you know, true power cuts through the noise, right? It cuts through to the depths of it. And it really only, it really, you know, it just cuts through. It cuts through the noise. I think there's something really powerful about this thought, okay? So if you are feeling this, this desire to push through, to push and to move through, to expand and to grow, you gotta be willing to be crazy for a little bit and go nuts. I mean, I think that some folks I feel like some folks on the true brink of something great end up getting sent into a mental institution from somebody close to them because they didn't want to change and they had control and they drove somebody crazy, and then therefore that person ended up trying to break out of something unhealthy that was killing them, ended up sabotaging the person who's trying to control. So for example, actually I'm going to think of an example. Like basically, you can try to control somebody only for so long until they decide, no, I'm going to break the hell out of this. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. It's like, well, this person just became a wild person. It's like, yeah, they became wild because they're breaking out. They're breaking out of that system of control, whether that be an addiction, whether that be an abusive relationship, whether that be a flawed ideology, a cult mindset, a bad business deal, you know? And all of a sudden you just kind of realize, man, I got to do anything I can to get out of this. And I need to, and you start acting nuts because you're like, I'm gonna get out, okay? So like one thing for me, like I am 31 and I'm ready to put the power on. And I've been waiting for permission from people. I've been reaching out to brands. I've been trying to do it the right way. Like, how do you cold call this person? How do you get this? How do you get in touch with this? Man, I'm freaking done. If you want to create something great, you do it your damn self. Otherwise, you can come to me. But I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna put forth all the different work that I'm doing to keep building up talent. If you're talent and you're sitting around at home going like, man, I really am so lonely. I have no one to help. Listen, I've built something up for you. You can jump on the Monday calls. Every single Monday we have a talent development call. It's at 3 p.m. Pacific time. You can jump on that call. Just go to tag.expert/talent. It'll give you the link. It'll make it all possible for you to get onto that call. You can do it. I get there on there for 30 minutes. We talk what we did last week, what we're going to do this next week. It's a great call. Another thing is that if you're a brand, I mean, it's super, super easy for you to work with my company, right? You just go to tag.expert/trial, or just go to Tag Expert. It's all about selling this, but basically 14-day trial. We do 14 days. We figure out who you are, what it is, we get your power on, turn the power on, or turn the power on. It's free, 14 days. 14 days, 14 days, free. And you get to talk to an actual person. You can talk to me, someone from my team. It's gonna be awesome. And we're just gonna get to the core of your message. We're gonna get passionate, we're gonna get fired up, we're gonna get excited. Because you know what, you are afraid of yourself. You're afraid of your own damn self. You're afraid that there's something powerful in you, and you're afraid that there's something great in you. And you are doing everything you can to sabotage yourself. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Man, I'm going on a rant. See, I'm getting fired up, but I'm under control. So I don't want you to get freaked out. Man, if I'm not driving this home, I gotta drive this home. Okay? I don't care what you. I'm at a place where it's like my heart's breaking. My heart's breaking not just for myself, but breaking for everyone. I mean, everyone's in this horrible. We're in this horrible position. We're in this terrible position. We have coronavirus. We've got all this division in the media. People are lying. People are telling all these blanketed statements like, I'm trying to go. All this is just headline culture. Trying top 10s and all stuff. I'm like, man, I gotta write top 10s. Why does that bug me as an artist? It bugs me to write that. It's just driving me nuts. And so for me, it's like, I feel like with community and creativity, and connecting with people, man, great products, great ideas, great businesses, they come from dialogue, they come from passion. And really, I mean, if you think about what is life really fully about, right? Life is about glorifying God. It's about serving your neighbor, right? That's really when you get to the core of everything. That's what life is about. Life is about loving God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Everything you gotta put it all on the line. I mean, I'm really just juiced right now. There's so much power. There's so much power that we leave on the table. So do this for me, an exercise, please. Before you contact me, before you contact Tag Expert, before you try to jump in on our talent development team, before you try to get onto the 14-day trial, I want you to sit with your camera. I want you to set up a decent light, make sure that there's some decent audio, make sure that you got some good exposure, that you got the whatever, all that stuff that I put in the last video. And I just want you to speak like you are powerful and you got something to say and you got a lot to go into. And I guarantee you, if you just get the power, find that power, right? That power can be really good fuel. And you say, I'm just gonna go without abandon. I'm gonna do an authenticity hour. I'm gonna find what it is in my heart that strikes a chord, that gets me riled up, that gets me excited. And if I have to sit in silence for a while and wait until I get a thought and then say something a little bit and then come back, that's fine. That's totally cool. Do that. And when you do that, when you give yourself that authenticity hour, when you give yourself that time, that freedom, that space, safe space, right? That's the beginning of the creative process. Because the creative process needs to be done in a nurtured, free, creative space. And in this world where we have so much critique and so much judgment of one another and so many divisive things, oh, I can't say this, can't say this. Go to church, you can't say damn fuck, right? If you go to you can't say, you go to the political sphere, you can't speak candidly or call someone, or call somebody out on something, or, you can't talk about tough issues like abortion, or you can't talk about these, or immigration, or just lots of different things. There's so many topics that we feel are taboo, that we can't discuss, that we can't get out, that we can't share. And if you're feeling this violent tug to be a little bit wild and just showing the power that you got, because you know what? I mean, the power just needs to be on. Once you get used to the power being on, once the power is on, like when I feel great, I feel great when I put the power on. When the power is on, and some of the best meetings that I've ever had in my life, I just really was like, man, Lord, just give me power. And I just like walk in, I'm like, man, all right, I'm gonna do a fantastic job for these people. And if they say no, I'm not gonna leave here without a deal. I'm not gonna leave here without anything on the table, because I'm not gonna waste my time. So in the same video, it's like, man, I don't wanna waste my time on you. If I don't wanna waste my time this is for something. I know this is for you. This is for somebody, right? I don't want to waste my time on those who are who want to. I guess I don't want to waste my time on the person in my own heart, the person in me. I don't want to waste time on that voice in me that is trying to suffocate the power and turn the power off. And there is that voice, and there's that voice in me where it's like, okay, Chase, pull back. People don't want to hear all your crazy ideas. They don't want to hear you rant for however long this has been. They don't want to hear you do that. They don't want to watch you on camera talk to other people. Like, those are the thoughts that come to my mind. That people don't want to hear you say these things. You just said damn, and you just said the F word in relation to church. That's just wrong. Like, those are all the thoughts that come to my mind. The editor mind in me is also like, oh, I gotta cut out this, I gotta cut out that, and it's like, man, I gotta get rid of this editor mindset when I'm creating something, because it's killing me. And it's hindering me from really speaking and using my unbridled power. And I think that's part of my charm, just in general. I think that's always been part of my charm. And what people like about me is that I have this edge, and when I don't connect with it, it's really unfortunate, because I feel better being a little bit more edgy. And I think that those who really get to know me, they see that passion, and the passion is what matters. The passion really can get far. So anyways, I'm a very passionate person, very energetic. And so yeah, like there's the person, I guess the person that I just kind of like have some resentment towards is the representation of the idea or the thought behind in my mind that is, you can't do this. We need to edit you. We need to censor you. We need to make you more palatable for the masses or for this person. I think part of this comes from just being in the performance world too, and even in just the business world too. Just it's like you can't say that. You can't say that. That's not. People always try to silence you because it's like, that's not your role, that's not your place. And I was like, well, I'll make my own damn company. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. That was kind of like my mindset, because it's like, I'm just gonna be myself. Like, how can I be? I don't want to live my life trying to fit in. even if that pays me money. I'd rather just be myself and be okay financially. And I'd much rather do that. I'd much rather be content, be myself, and not be rich or famous, but to actually truly have what matters the most and what can't be bought, which is being content with myself and being content with not just who I am, but being content with all of who I am, being content with the intense chase, being content with the intense, powerful chase, and then also being, and also letting the chase that is not intense, the one that is actually very compassionate and loving, but sometimes a pushover, maybe a little bit too compassionate at times, where it can go into the world of sympathy, which is like pessimism. That's not good. I don't like that. When I get to that place, it's where I stop being authentic and I start kind of having fear of other people. And it's like sort of like where my compassion turns into fear. Where in reality, I'm actually a very unpolite person. Typically, I'm very not like impolite, but like I'm just not very. I'm just kind of raw, rough around the edges. My best, like really like in the flow. Like, I think when people like me most, I'm like, yeah, like you said that, man. Like you really said that. I can't believe you just said that. It's like, oh man, that's cool. It's like people like that. I think that comes from the songwriting side of myself too, where it's like, just kind of being really raw with God. I mean, listen to the Psalms. If you go to Psalms and you just kind of read the Psalms that David wrote, it's like, man, he was going through the thick of it. I mean, he's like, God. He's like reaching out. He's like, Lord. He's like, I wish I had like a psalm right on my head, but I mean, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He's so dramatic. I mean, that's just a very simple. That's very, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High God. I'm going to stand in His presence. I'm going to stand in the shadow of the King. David was really good at just violent words. He was a warring guy. He was a warrior, and I think that's where, as a man, this whole coronavirus season, and honestly, just the world at large right now, being a man is freaking hard. Feminists are annoying. Honestly, they are really annoying. I don't even say hate feminists, but man, they're bugging the crap out of me because they're ruining men. They're disrespecting us. Like, it's terrible. And honestly, guys, I mean, most guys are not misogynistic, and not, they actually love women. And all of our fight and our desire to conquer and to achieve usually stems from wanting to impress a girl, or, being a provider, being a provider, being a, taking ground. And I think the feminist movement has ruined men. It's definitely, whenever I'm around it, I find it extremely difficult to get things done sometimes, because it's like a power struggle. I'm in a power struggle with on the same team. It's like, okay, well, all of a sudden we went from being on the same team to now we're on a power struggle because you're a feminist and I'm trying to get things done and we're clashing. How is that possible? Why is that? That makes no sense. Anyways, these are all really, really rich, deep issues, and we have to discuss them. We have to bring the power, turn the power up, turn the power on. And for those who are not speaking right now, you need to speak up, because it's going to get real if we don't. People got to say something, and you just need to put the power on. That's it. Just set the camera up, film yourself, talk about stuff, put the power on. Put the power on. It's okay. Listen, the world where people are going to blow up, all this, the best case scenario is that the people closest to you get to actually hear what you actually think. The worst case scenario is that a bunch of people who don't know you or don't care about you get to hear what you actually think. The best case scenario is that people closest to you can really learn what's going on with you. And you know what? The ones who are going to care the most are the ones who are going to reach out and be like, hey, what's up? Hey, like, I saw this. I saw you did this. Man, that's really interesting. It spoke to me. I'm really glad I took the time to watch or took the time to listen. So those are the things that we need to talk about. So with Tag Expert, and I'll put it back to that, because ultimately, like, I'm not going to be like making videos for YouTube or whatnot for no reason that doesn't go to something that I can actually fulfills and supports my life, right? So let me show you one thing. This is my this here. This is a really cool. This is my little marketing promo. I really like these things. I made this about a year ago, actually. I really like these. I give them out with people whenever I'm on a plane or if I'm driving around. But I really like this, and it's just, you can get your free trial with Tag Expert, and I've got a bunch of folks lined up. We're gonna start helping people all over the United States. It's gonna be really cool. Lord willing, if God wills it, it's gonna be really great. But we go through 12 different elements of creating content, and this is a process that has been that I've learned over the last 10 years. Basically, we're gonna create content in a very authentic manner, and we're gonna look at every single part of your life, business, whatever you're trying to build, and we're gonna look for we're gonna build things out to where you're creating something that is sustainable. And I think it's really powerful solution, and it's something you can't really do alone. It's something you should get help with. But if you're interested in picking this up, or if you're interested in joining and going through our onboarding process with Tag, then you should go to tag.expert/trial, and then there's gonna be a button you can click, and it'll take you to our form to fill that out. It'll explain it a little bit more in depth, and then lastly is to make sure that you jump in on our calls every Monday. If you're a talent, if you're creative, jump in on our Monday calls, Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That is Pacific time. So Pacific time at 3 p.m. What are you doing? What are you doing next Monday? I'd like to hang out with you. What are you doing next Monday? I'd like to hang out with you. That's what I'm trying to say. So next Monday, you should definitely jump in. Definitely jump into the call, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love being a part of our call. Great people tend to show up, usually a small group of folks, but it's a lot of fun, and we get to talk about what we did last week, what we're gonna do this next week, and we anchor it with something that's gonna push us forward, not just as people, but also as creators. And it's a good check-in. I've seen some amazing things happen from it. We've had Miles has gotten to, I think he's at 1.5 million followers on TikTok now. When he started, I think he had just crossed the threshold of 100,000. And then we've got Sean just finished up marketing and putting together a board game that he's going to sell, and so he's putting that in Kickstarter, and it's going to be this big thing, I'm sure. And then Eric has just come up with he just did the Bop, which is a really cool site. It's like basically Netflix for beats. Netflix for beats. And you can check it out. Go to bopmop.com, bopmop.com. Anyways, all these guys are doing great things, and they're doing it from the comfort of their own homes, and they're doing it just by meeting every single week for 30 minutes. And it's not just that. Obviously, they're working very hard on it, and but I do think that it's helpful to have just a little check-in every single week. So you're welcome to join that. Go to tag.expert/talent, tag.expert/talent. All these things are going to be linked in the description below. But to get your 14-day of free trial, to actually go through this process here to get going, you should definitely get started, talk to a real human like myself or someone on our team, and we're going to hook you up.